felt this way before. It must be you and I. It's got me thinking about us more. It's these bright lights, they put me in a daze, and I can't stop but think about the way that you move around up and down on that stage. It's your future vibes. Bright lights, they put me in a daze, and I can't stop but think about the way that you move around up and down on that stage. It's your future vibes. Bright lights, they put me in a daze, and I can't stop but think about the way that you move around up and down on that stage. It's your future vibes.
Welcome everyone, round 7, a redo kind of Austria after Xbox Live issues. We are back for Tier 3 on a Sunday. Oh my god, double header. How about that? Tier 1 and Tier 3 today. I'm joined by today's points finisher from Tier 1, GSR Axe. How's it going?
Hello. I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good as well. I'm glad to see we have a close competitive field right here. As, you know, some reserves, there's a total of 6-7 reserves in this race. Chevy Giant's not here, Data Lucas isn't here. If this is your chance to take a race win or take your first race win, today's the day.
Yeah, for sure. We've been saying before stream even started, this is Dave's only shot to get back into that championship fight, as he is, I believe he is 3rd. So he's gonna have to hope for a big day, and provisional poll right now, definitely looking good.
Yeah, Tier 1 and Tier, yeah, obviously there's a stream delay, but Tier 1 and Tier 3 as well today. I want to mention, how about those races? Those are Tier 1, Tier 1 and Tier 2 have been done already. Tier 1, Tier 3 today. How about those races, though, from Tier 1 and Tier 2? Tier 2, the mixed conditions, wet, monsoon, fog, light rain to dry. Those races, I've got to say. We've been kind of in Tier 1, but the thing is, with all that, the problem is, we had a late race controversial incident, as it is going faster. We had a late race controversial incident, as I mentioned P20 to P4 in the race from Tier 2, but we had a controversial incident with Boker's pit lane stuff. And 2 warnings he got, which were probably quoted unquote maybe unfair or maybe adjusted with the game. He had 4 warnings. If those 2 got removed, it'd be his penalty removed. If one of them got removed, it wouldn't be. If his penalty did get removed, it'd be the race win for him. That's what I'm thinking. Do we see Boker get the race win off of this? And how about those races, P20 and P4? Sam as well, P15 to P6 as well. You P18 to P6, or P8 Axe. It's impressive though,
yeah,
with all that.
Yeah, a lot of us who started outside the top 10 had a pretty good day, to be honest. It was me and Sam. We, me and Sam mainly, went from starting way back. And we actually chose different strategies as well. I went for the mediums to start, and then to the sauce at the end, hoping to get fastest lap. But somebody stole that at the end for some reason. And Sam started on the softs, and he had a good day. Kept the penalty free, which I could not, and he's going to take P6, I believe. I'll be taking 7th home. So, Tier 1 had a relatively quiet day in terms of incidents, to be honest.
Yeah. Which one
We
big
had
incident
just
that
one virtual safety car, which was really nice. It was a good change of pace after what we've had at Australia a few weeks ago, and what we had last week as well. So it was good to see a nice clean race for the most part. And then Tier 2 was nuts, so hopefully we get something pretty good today to round out the weekend.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Yeah, not to mention tier 1 today. Pluto 31 lap hards. Also not to mention as well, as Vanquisher comes to the line, he's gonna go to pole 104.8. Just to mention as well, Pluto, first points finished in Tier 1 in his second start. Corey Marshall in his first start up to P4. Riles, if he gets a penalty removed, he can get a points finish over Pluto, and it can knock Pluto out of the points. And Atlantis keeps up 14 consecutive points finishes. How about that? Tying the most of Riles last season.
Yeah. We'll see. So Vanquisher did go to pole, right? Yeah, he did. Patriot went to 3rd. I didn't see that. I'm not sure when he did that, but... So we have some new reserves making their debuts today.
True.
If I'm correct, we have like 5 of them.
Yeah, Akenboss. Nos May making his first start. Ditto
TJR,
reserve.
Money.
TJR. Yup.
Well.
Mean Boy as well. There's a ton of people
Yeah.
making their first start. Hissy up to 4th. Yeah, just to mention, I want to mention points quickly as soon as we can. I think it's raining. I could swear I saw rain. I could swear I saw rain. I swear I saw rain. I don't know. But
Usually
point
it shows on
standings.
the halo.
Yeah, that's true. Point standings though, I want to mention. I don't know if you can see the stream, but Chevy Giant, Davis, Hissy sit 1, 2, 3. Chevy Giant has a 52-point lead, I'm pretty sure, something like no, a 42-point lead, something like that. Yeah, 42 points. Davis, this is his race. This is his race to lose. I'm sorry, but this is his race to lose with the way it's going.
Yeah.
He has to win this race. In order for him to be back in a race, he has to win this race or get second. But you know, I know how much Davis. He was 0-2 out of the Austria starts he's had. He did not finish last season's race, and he had chances for podiums in both of them. Poor Rose.
Well, I'm just saying,
second, fifth.
out of the top 10 in points right now, right? There are 3 people who are actually racing today. Being Davis, Hitsky, and Foley. The rest are not here.
Are you kidding?
So this is
That's
a big day
actually-
for anyone outside that top 10 looking to jump in like Raptor or CJ or Ditto, even as a reserve, could make the jump into the top 10 if
Could go up to the
things
top
go
15.
her way. That's
Yeah.
true, yeah.
T-Rock as
So
well.
it's a
Fire
big day
King
for those.
outside the top 20. I would not be above
outside.
saying that. Fire King outside the top 20. Behind Aaron
Yeah.
Ocon. Aaron Ocon could be a good race for him as well. Just got done doing the league race. He has some practice and laps in this game anyway. Yeah, biggest surprise right now. Who would be the biggest surprise?
Davis
for
to
World
top.
Series Constructors, and there you go, right there, 104.4. I predicted it, the poll time. But yeah, who would you find then? Really as the biggest shocker in points. Highest and lowest. I'll go with you.
Highest, I think I want to go with Hissy. He really
Yeah,
hasn't had a
seriously.
big standout race. He's just been there most of the time. I don't know if he's picked up a podium or not. He is sitting 4th right now, and hopefully he can gain a little bit on those in front of him in the championship. I believe he's 3rd, actually. So, yeah, big day for him. Hopefully he keeps it clean. And probably low, I would have to go with, well, just based off this track, Zig, sitting 7th right now, coming out trying to get one final lap in. I don't know if he'll be able to get to it. But yeah, he's not had a great season. I think he's only got 1 point from a fastest lap. But this is a big track for him. Hopefully he can go on the trend upwards, hopefully, after this race, and have a good one today.
Yep, just gonna go quickly with mine before we get to the end of the qualifying session quickly. Davis and Hissey, big surprises to me. Davis not even a single podium last season, not even single top 10 in points at all. They got like a 4 last season. He's got 2 podiums, a win already. And then worst surprise out of all this, I have to say Aaron Ocon. 4 points, it doesn't look good. He could easily be doing better after last season.
Yeah.
Ditto goes to 8th. We also have, let me get back into the other stream, there we go, that one. But coming to the line is a racing point as well. OPC Patriot starting his lap, driver starting their lap as well. So Ferrari coming to the line.
I think it's
Aaron Ocon sits
just
11th.
ending now, so
Yep, there's a
we have a
Haas
few seconds.
coming to the line. Renault coming to the line as well. That's Zig Starburst
Zig
competing.
gets his in.
The lap. He starts his lap, but goes faster, I think, as well. McLaren of TJR, he starts his lap, but coming to the line, there's an Alfa Romeo. Aaron Ocon starts his lap. He's the last one to complete the checkered flag, or come to it at least. And
I think he's going to be the last
Yep.
one to start the lap. I think that's going to be the cutoff right there. So this is our final runs here.
Vanquisher, the first one to the line. He's coming to the line this time. He's exceeding the track limits, we can see, but first Pakistan driver who could possibly take a front row start. Does he do it? Yes, he does. Stays in the front row for now. Where do the Haas drivers go? Ditto. Trying to improve on her time. Not enough, obviously. Hitting the front corner wrong. The Williams goes off the racetrack, but there's a racing point of OPC Patriot. 2/10 up to the line. Is it front row for Patriot? It is. Mercedes, where do they go? Luke B completes the checker flag, stays 13th as well. There's a Renault. Zig Starburst to the line. He started very well here in the GSR JSC event and the GSR Tier 3 race. He goes up to P4. Best start for Zig.
This does not improve.
TJR completes a checker flag. It's all going to be the way it is. And I believe it's Davis on pole
Aaron
for the first
Ocon.
time. Oh, got it in the
Oh my
corner.
goodness.
If this is pole. He goes 9th. He goes 9th. Hey, very close between 8th or 10th, but it is Davis 2K7 in a race where it could be his biggest race yet. The race where he can possibly take the championship lead. Well, not take the championship lead, but take the championship gap to within a single race. Today could be the day.
It's gonna be.
Davis is on pole.
It's his best shot to do it. Especially without Data Lucas and Chevy Giant here, and a completely different top 4, top 5 than what we're usually used to here. With Davis on pole,
so
Patriot in 2nd, a 10th back, Vanquisher, Zig, and Hissey.
Rounding out the top 10 is TJR Fire King. A good start for him this time. He needs to convert that good start into a top 5. There also is Ditto. Aaron Ocon with a good start. Raptor in the top 10. But some notables outside of there. Florian Foley and Sink. Just some notables outside there. And T-Rock, who finished good last week after
CJ in 11th
race
as well. Good starting
There's a
position
lot to
for
talk
him.
about. But
Yeah.
I talked to Davis last night. I've been telling him, you know, ever since he gone to full to medium traction, he switched from full to medium, he's improved his pace a ton. And you could definitely see the difference. I'm telling you right now, with all this, this is Davis's best shot. And I don't want to jinx it because I'd feel really bad. But regardless of that, we could see a lot go on. I don't see the starting. I don't see the session start. I don't know if that's a glitch. I don't know if that's going to be the second time we have to restart today. I don't know if it's going to be that way, but we'll have to find out.
I don't think so.
I'll show the
Everybody's check marks are loading in for me.
Just the checks for me, then. This might not show it. But, yeah, this is the race. If you want to get a race win, your first race winner, this is probably Davis's biggest race, I think, yet. Biggest chance at a win, in general. Just in general from all this, it's insane. Alright, Axe, I'm going to let you go first with 3 favorites. Try to go quick.
3 favorites. Well, I'm gonna leave you the guy in first place. I'm gonna go with the guy in second, OPC Patriot. He is my driver. He has recently dropped to Tier 2. Or from Tier 2 to Tier 3. But I'm thinking, because track limits could be a big player in this race, even though it is on normal. If you just extend, like we saw in qualifying, you can pick up warnings very easily. And maybe we see him keep it a little bit cleaner than most. I'm gonna go with Zig in 4th. Again, a really good starting spot for him. Best racetrack on the calendar, and hopefully we can see him have a good race driving with the number 95 on the side. I kind of like that. And I want to go with someone outside the top 10. I'm going to go with Nosman at 14th. I know he's a very clean driver. He just recently won GSR's Tier 3 championship. Just yesterday, technically. And yeah, hopefully see him climb up a few positions. He's usually a very clean driver, so I don't think he abused track limits enough to get high enough in qualifying.
Yeah, interesting lineup there you have. I have Davis. You know, this is probably his biggest race of his life, I'd say, that he's had to do in ARL. You know, I thought last season, he had good chances for a podium. He did, but he wasted the opportunities and he cost himself. This race, he's so close to Chevy Giant points. He's the closest guy to him. He could make things happen. Vanquisher, I talked to him before. He was kind of gutted the race didn't happen on Friday, but the thing is, he's here, and he dropped from Tier 1 to Tier 2 to Tier 3. He's looking to do well, and I gotta go with Fire King. Fire King, a good track for him. This could be the track where Fire King steals podium, steals the top 5, and gets his best finish yet. We could see him up in the points, and I want to mention something about Vanquisher. Tier 1 to Tier 2 to Tier 3. Top red lights upon us here in Austria. We are about to go here for Tier 3 after a big delay from Friday. We are on T-Rock's gonna drive through. We are green. Davis gets a horrible start, but OBC Patriot is next to him. Side by side, Vanquisher splits it 3 wide. Davis around the outside might be able to go up and take a hit. Patriot. Zig is spun at the back. But OPC Patriot and Davis make contact. Davis kind of swerved and gave him some damage. Keeping it clean, I think.
Darrena went really wide.
Keeping it clean so far, Raptor. 6, but Ditto up to 5th. And Vanquisher gets passed by DTR. And down the border, Hackenboss goes.
Into the wall.
Safety car. So, if I'm anyone, I pit for mediums, because you can make it the rest of the race. I just gave everyone a strategy there, if you were watching. But yeah, I hope so. I would pull an evil matrix from GSR Britain. But no, Patriot got ran into by Davis. Davis had a little bit oversteer and kind of cut the track, and then swerved into Patriot. And Patriot has damage, so Patriot I would assume would pit this time. But if I'm anyone, I would go for mediums. I would go for mediums to pit. I would do it. These guys need to enter the pit lane the correct way, and they do enter the pit lane the correct way compared to Tier 1 or the way it was. Patriot 5 second for speeding. Now, unless he was the correct miles per hour and it just gave him a penalty for going like 0.1 over, that can't be removed. But Ditto stays out along as well as Luke, Sink, Burning Man. Burning Man highest position in league racing so far. Ditto first time in the lead in ARL since Italy. Money Games in his first start. Mean Boy first start as well. Vanquisher doesn't pit though. Why did Vanquisher not pit? He's gonna be betting on another safety car then, or having something happen, because the reason he didn't pit is I don't understand. Why did he not pit?
So I believe just the top 7 correct stayed out. 8th on back dove it in.
Wow. If you didn't pit here, you're making a mistake, unless you're on mediums, and I understand where Sink is coming from, but
I believe there's only one guy on mediums, and that's Sink, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you've made a mistake if you this
Yeah.
lap.
Even if you did pit for softs, they'd probably make it.
Yeah.
They can go
That's
about
true.
15, 16 laps.
Yeah, but it's tough. Now, did someone break a front wing there? Because I just saw part of a front wing on the racetrack. Safety car is not in this lap, it looks like.
Well, Money Games is missing a left end plate. I'm not sure if
That's
that
what
would
the
be
damage was from. That's what, because I
He's
saw it
diving
right
into
there.
the pits, yes. He's going in.
Smart decision. Burning Man probably listened
And
to as
so
well.
does Burning
Probably got
Man,
ready to Yep. I would assume so. Yeah, I would be surprised. And Raptors kind of fell down the order. Or that's just them passing the pit lane, that's all. That's all it was. Thought he fell down the order.
So that just leaves now 5 people who have not made a stop.
We saw Davis, a controversial maybe incident with OPC Patriot off the turn 1. Made contact, broke part of Patriot's front wing. Will that be looked at? Will that be reported? Will that decide what the race win is? Because we saw last season, GSR Callum made contact with Aaron O'Connor's, not Chevy Giant, wow, Hellcat, and it costed both of those two for the race win.
Patriot
and
dead again.
today, okay,
What sort of damage?
maybe. But I'm thinking though, Axe, because Callum was penalized for 10 seconds. Boker is trying to appeal his penalty. The race win could be kind of
Oh, Aaron
a
O'Connor.
5-second penalty for Aaron O'Connor. Yep. It's not the first time Zig and him have collided.
My game's
My game still off the track.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, Boker, I mean, he got the warning and got the penalty for what happened. So, I'm just curious. Davis swiped into Patriot. Was it really his fault? Could that be penalized, Axe? Could we see the race win maybe changed if Davis wins it anyway? We'll go on.
I don't know. We could see it. And if we see chaos from the guys who have pit already, what happens with these top 5? Do they pull away? Or do they cause the chaos? I don't know. I have a feeling this is going to be
Oh my god, there's been 3 5-seconds handed out. Oh my, I couldn't even count who got the 5 seconds. Holy cow.
So CJ Money Games, and Burning Man has wing damage.
Burning Man as well was one of them. Well, here we go to the restart pretty soon. When does Ditto go? She goes now and keeps the race lead. Sink being the only one to meet him. 5 guys stayed out, and those 5 guys are front 5. And Fire King pits as well. Might have got some damage under the safety car as well to the restart. Davis trying to challenge on Vanquisher. Vanquisher split it 3 wide off the start. And off of turn 1, it is Ditto still leading the race over Luke. Ditto's defending before we've seen. Has been questionable. How does Ditto keep the race lead?
Vanquisher on the inside. TGR goes for a big lunge. He hits the Alpha Romeo with me, boy. No damage, I'm pretty sure.
Davis gets passed though by TGR. That's the issue there, right there.
Yeah. TGR went for a big lunge into the hairpin and made it work.
TGR won this race back in Outback. And Florian Foley is Zig side by side. Yeah, he beat Atlantis to do it. Let's keep that in mind. He beat Atlantis to do it back in 2018. Won this race back in Outback Racing Series. And TGR goes in the grass as well off of Sector 2. So that would be costly for him. And it's staying the way it is. 1-2 side by side here into turn 9. Ditto stays ahead for the time being. Sink is right there to challenge. 2 Irish drivers right there.
Sink down to
is
the
going
inside.
5. Fast lap for Vanquisher.
Sink clears his teammate before turn 1 happens. Does he have enough of a run on Ditto here?
No Giros just yet. Giros will be in the next lap. Florian Floyd and Akamba's change positions as well. Vanquisher gaining on Sink and gaining on Luke. But where does Vanquisher go? He goes to the outside. And yellow
Top
flags.
2 running really. I'm not sure who that's for.
Side by side, Vanquisher gaining on Sink as well. Vanquisher, 2 overtakes right now if he could get this done. Down the inside. Sink really prevailing in those mediums. See a little bit of lag between Sink, it looks like, right there. Could be causing Vanquisher to let off. That's questionable for him, of course, because it could cause him to let off.
DRS will be active on this next, after turn 1 that'll be. And then you have 2 DRS. There's 3 DRS zones right in a row, so this could become a very big train very quickly.
You already see how big of a train it is already. We've not seen much train this season, but that front 6 is all really close. Raptor pits, maybe had some damage. Zig climbing back up. Dominant Square says, yeah, up to P10 after that whole collision. Hitting might get him some points today, and might get him up in the top 20 points. Now, Hissy does get by Mean Boy, who makes contact with him, and Mean Boy is going to fall down the order from Nossman and Zig Starburst, who passed them as well. And now, Vanquisher, let's see. A little bit of a Max Verstappen and Leclerc slightly right there. Going side by side, Vanquisher gets ahead, and TJR gets ahead of Luke as well. Davis is trying to challenge, but Davis isn't close enough. Nossman is by Hissy for P7. What is probably a net P4.
He goes on the outside of Hissy. Can he make it stick? No, it won't. Hissy keeps P8.
Remember, Hissy's also 3rd in the point standings as well. He's one of the 3 people in the top 10 racing in points. So this could be a big day for Hissy. He needs to do a lot. He can't just sit back there in P8. And there's a lot of new guys in front of him racing. Especially considering that Lucas and Chevy Giant are here.
Just want to mention Patriots down at 16th. We'll see him climb to the field for sure unless he picks up damage somewhere. But
Davis
Yeah,
goes
that's
by
really
Luke. Luke
unfortunate
at the
for him.
outside. Luke goes through again, but positions gained 17. Remember, Sink started 20th. I know pit stops are a thing, but come on, that guy's gained
Vanquisher.
17 positions.
Ditto goes wide. Vanquisher to the inside now.
Luke hit the back of Davis, as we saw right there, but yellow flags as well. That is a Renault. That is Raptor.
Oof.
And down the inside, Vanquisher goes on Ditto. Pakistan versus France. Between these two. And then you have
Ditto really
that as well.
just barely keeping the position.
TJR's pulled out of DRS out of Davis right now. Akenboss passes Sink, who drops down the order for some odd reason. Damage,
He's
that
got
is.
damage.
Okay. Oh, what is that from then? We saw yesterday in GSR Brazil, there were safety cars all throughout the race. We saw many things happen. TJR takes the fastest lap. And here comes Vanquisher, trying to dive it down the inside. Ditto going protective, and it is going to be a safety car again. This helps the front, three of the front
Top
five.
two,
Sink
and
speed
then
away.
Luke.
But where everyone is at, I'm going to assume Vanquisher and Ditto will come back out around the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th area, around that area, I would assume. They have to go safety car speed. They're going to catch the safety car. The leaders of this race, if they pit, will be TJR and Davis, which puts Davis back into this.
Yeah. TJR
Davis is 0 for 2 finishing this race.
I assume he's going to take the race lead unless Ditto or Vanquisher stay out again. But this is probably about their pit window anyway. This really helps out those guys like 8th on back. They kind of had lost the big train of the RS, yeah, and...
Whoa, Vanquisher almost hits Ditto, and TJR almost hit Vanquisher as well. Oh man, that could have been close. And
Vanquisher looks like he's pitting, so does Ditto and TJR.
TJR is pitting though. It's going soft to the end, unless he has damage. And who stays out of this? Davis
Ditto,
for track
5
position and
seconds.
Ditto? Ditto?
Combining Ditto and Ditto, who's not even in this league.
Yeah, there's one. Yeah. And who else stays out? Nosman, Hissy. On the podium.
Patriot
Starburst
hits
does-
again.
I think this is smart. Yeah, I think this is smart though, Zig staying out, because he's proven he's been fast in straight track position as well. But another guy that helps, I would assume, gain at least a position or two or get back into the mix is Fire King. He had some damage earlier. He pitted again. This might get him back into the points if anything happens. We know how these safety car restarts can be, and how things happen in general. Chaos is the key word, and pitting under those softs is Luke and TJR. So they're going to be faster, but the problem is there enough of a train? Is there enough to charge the field to get to the race victory? We have seen so far in this race, Nosman 14th to 2nd. Mean Boy 18th to 12th. Luke 13th to 8th. Florian 15th to 10th. And Ditto 8th to 3rd. Or 5th, sorry.
Patriot had pit under that safety car as well, along with Aaron Ocon, and they basically did not lose any positions out of that.
Wow, safety car in this lap. Not even everyone's catch up. Oh my god. That does. Oh,
There's
there's a front wing
only-
been broken by someone. Aaron Ocon, 3-second penalty. Someone just broke a front wing. Was that TJR?
It
Someone
could
just
have
broke a front wing
been
there. Vanquisher. Collision with Ditto. What? Check if it's Vanquisher.
TJR
Vanquisher looks like he's
yes,
pitting.
and
Vanquisher. It's damage for Vanquisher. And Nosman trying to get side by side with Davis as we come back to the green flag. When does Davis go? It is
Luke
about
pits,
now.
and so does... Oh, 2 race points are collided. Oh, no. Please don't do that, guys.
25 seconds.
Nosman down the inside of Davis into 1. Not enough.
Oh, Florian Patriot, CJ go off the racetrack. Just gives like USA Turn 19 in the Indy cars, kind of. Going off the racetrack like that. TJR is 1.3 seconds behind that whole pack, and Hissy and Zig trade positions. T-Rock is out. OPC Patriot almost turned by CJ Pants and making contact with Florian Foley. Mean Boy is taking advantage of this as well. Money Games right there in his first start, trying to get inside the points. Davis was 0 for 2, I mentioned it so many times, 0 for 2 in this race last season, of finishing the race, and 0 for 2 at a podium. He was exactly in last season in the races he was able to compete in, he was really 0 for 16, 0 for 17 really. All between the chances he had for podiums. Zig stays close with Ditto. TJR is trying to gain up on this whole pack. Up in front, he's gaining slightly, but Zig Starburst gets passed by Miss Ditto. Trading positions right there. Ditto's not within your, well actually she is, but Zig right there needs to gain on Ditto and needs to stay within that gap, and now Zig is going to go to Ditto. Ditto's protecting.
Side by side to the hairpin, who breaks it later? Ditto does.
Side again,
Does she overshoot?
and I think TJR was hitting Zig right there. Patriots right behind. Zig goes through. Zig is ahead, but Ditto is not giving it up. They are side by side into turn 4. Ditto staying ahead, but overdriving the race car. Zig is right there still, and Davis almost a second lead already on Nosman. Hissy's out of DRS, and Ditto is out of DRS, and TJR is down the inside of Zig.
Yeah.
Zig goes wide.
Zig. Oh no.
TJR's turn to gain on Ditto now. J Pants on Zig. Down the inside. It's oh, this is not gonna work. This is not gonna work. Never mind, it does. Oh, right there. Around goes CJ. Into the barrier.
Oh.
And Ditto and TJR overtaken right there. T-Rock has left the session, being the only person out of the race so far. So, the gap between TJR and Davis, 4.1. How much is he going to gain on Davis in these final laps?
Patriot to the outside of Ditto for 5th.
Ditto
worked way
making
later.
contact.
Pushed him off the track. Vanquished the fastest lap. Doesn't mean too much right now unless he gets in the points.
And yeah, good point from Dominant Square actually, your brother X. Where the hell did Nosman come from? Seriously. 14th to second.
But he stayed down under that safety car, and a lot of people in front of him at it. He was kind of just sitting there, 7th place. Right where I said that, like,
TJR
was.
gaining on Hissy right here. Poor position into
Not
the
enough.
final 2 corners.
Not a good overtaking spot here. Gonna wait for DRS.
Yeah, CJ and Zig collided, and CJ said, Zog, squeeze me, between those two. Back and Boss gets by Money Games. OPC Patriot getting on Ditto, side by side up ahead between Hissy and TJR. Around goes Hissy!
Oh no. Did they make contact? I didn't
Yes,
see.
they did. They did. OPC Patriot on Ditto now again. Hissy running down the order. Been somewhere else, I think, at the back as well. Vanquisher 3 seconds. And Ditto pulling another Leclerc. That's the 3rd time.
Patriot's gotta be fed up with her now.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame Patriot, honestly. It wouldn't be the first time though.
He's already had the wing damage, and he just cannot get by.
Davis has already pulled out almost a 3-second gap. TJR though gains about 3/4 tenths, but is it enough to gain in the next 5 laps? There's 5 laps to go this time, and Davis 0 for 2 finishing in Austria. You know, remember Fire King battling Aaron Ocon in the points, and Hissy goes down the order again and gets spun again.
TJR now onto Nosman for the final corner. Much better exit on the soft.
He's gaining so
Should
much
be
on
an easy
Davis.
move.
He's gaining so much, he's gonna have clean air.
Will
that
he get
restart,
to Davis
7
in
to
time?
second.
Is the question.
7th to 2nd, and Sync is left. Make sure you re-invite him. OPC Patriot now gets by Ditto and finally is through. Patriot's got to be clapping about that one because it was finally about time.
Took long enough. But he can try and set sights on the top 3. I'm not sure.
That's true. That is true, and Patriot could take his first podium since this race last year in Tier 2. He took a 3rd place finish behind Rapid Extreme. Patriot could go 2 in a row for podiums at Austria. And Zig Starburst Ditto, all within DRS of Patriot. Zig Starburst, this is his best run so far. I don't want to be biased like we were in GSR, but again, if he does this, he could sit toward the top 5. He has a chance at his first top 5 finish. His best finish is like 10th or 9th, so still would be an amazing run for Zig.
It's not even 10th or 9th. He's only got 1 point, I think, right? Which is the fastest
Yeah,
lap point.
something like that. Yeah, something like that. TJR has 1 warning, Davis has 1 warning, and the gap between 1 and 2 with 4 to go, 2.4.
Closest. Just monitor that, see if it gets any closer.
Working in Erdogan battle right here for P8. Erdogan DRS is
Zig.
a 3-card train between money games, aim 5.
Zig on Ditto.
Gonna do the switchback right here. Watch this, because he's gonna gain. Luke B gets a penalty, yeah, and the DRS is enabled. Better ERS by a ton, and look at how much Zig is gonna gain to the outside now. Ditto pinching toward the grass and side by side between them into turn 4. Ditto overdrives it, and now Zig to the inside, side by side into turn 5,
Backs out.
and it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work.
Yeah. He knows he's gonna, his best chance is gonna be on a DRS straight. Not worth putting the car at risk on the outside there.
Well, Nosman is gaining back to TJR. 3.1 is that gap. TJR really extending into that final corner.
Yeah, you can really run off there.
You can. Free to go. Remember, Davis took his first win last week. He could do the same thing Adam Fav did a week ago. Take his first win and go back to back after your first win. Davis could do that and could go 2 in a row, which would help him in the championship. He was 42 points behind, and considering where the point sittings are at, he will be 17 points behind Chevy at this point, and he is back into championship contention if he wins this race. And Zig and Ditto again into turn 2, turn 3, side by side. Zig tries to switch back, and Zig is battling
He's
Ditto
got the better
hard,
exit,
but
but
Ditto
no
protects.
DRS. Zig didn't get the DRS, Ditto got it. Ditto goes deep again.
2.3 between race leaders. We come to 2 laps to go. Is it enough time if anything happens? And he spins in the final turns from worn tires from Davis. What can happen? I mean, we've seen how worn those tires can get. I mean, we know how it can be.
Yeah.
Those tires, those final 2 corners. Davis has just
I
got to
think
take
the
it all
tires
force.
are pretty much evened out.
TJR.
Oh, TJR's picked up every second from extending that corner too many times. Mossman tried to do it there as well. I saw it in the back.
Yeah. Zig's a lot closer to Ditto than he was off the fallen corner, and now this is for a position again for P5. Aaron O'Connor and Akabos battle, but Zig, this is his run for a best result. By like timesing that by 2 would be fair. That'd be his best result was like 11th or 12th before. It was 11th in Spain. He's gonna probably double that today. Zig going to the outside now of Ditto, and
He wants a
protects.
DRS
Ditto
for
is
this
good.
straight away.
He knows it. He knows it because Ditto doesn't get the runs off the corner. And Fire King sitting in 7th after all this. A good run for him. Could be his best finish. Check pens. Yeah, TJR has obviously penalties. The 3 second he has. And Zig is behind again. In position straight between Burning Man and Sink. Burning Man running 16th. Well, TJR, his first start for podium this could be. Nosman, his first start as well. And as well as Akambos, who's running in the points of money games just outside the points. Yeah, Zig did not want to try it there, but now the final lap for Davis. What a ride this has been, honestly.
I think
What a ride.
another few laps TGR could have battled him at least, but TGR did have that penalty.
Into
so
turn
it
1!
didn't matter too much.
Oh. Zig needs to
Bad
send it,
exit.
Utalfin says. We'll have to find it. Ditto hits
Bad
the grass,
exit.
but where does Zig send it? Does Zig send it on the final lap for P5? Zig is going to try it. Zig to the outside. He knows he wants the DRS. And Ditto drives
Ditto
off the
runs way
racetrack.
wide.
And now here comes
Zig
Zig
gets
back
the
at it
DRS
again. For P5. Zig to the outside, and Zig's going to get this. If he can hold on.
No, he doesn't.
Switch back! Switch back right here! Zig down the inside again!
It'll turn to the outside. He's clear of Ditto. Does she dive it? Yes, she does. And
Oh!
spins Zig out.
Ditto spins Zig, but Davis, from his first podium to his first win, back to back after his first win, Davis is gonna do it! Davis,
Just
checker
over
flag, 0-2 last
AR.
time in Austria, now it's 1-2 with the race win! Nosman to the line, P3 in his first start after a GSR championship. And what could possibly been P5 for Zig. It's probably going to be penalized for Ditto. And Fire King, best result by Fire King. Akambos probably could be promoted to P6, but...
Mean
I
Boy
need
takes the
luck.
final points playing position.
Zig is gonna, yeah, Zig is
That's
gonna,
heartbreak.
yeah, that is, because that was gonna be his best result in his first points finish. Dumped in the final.
Dodge distraction.
Oh my god. Well, 3 DNF's not too bad from a race. Won't have much time for post-race interviews, but I just want to get in Davis and Zig here from them.
Yeah.
Davis! From to your first win to back-to-back, and now 1 and 2 in Austria. How about that? And Torosso both get top 5 finishes for the first time this season. Best finish for Fire King, and now a win for you. Include your audio. How about that, man? And your chance to gain on Chevy Giant happened. 16 points, I think it is now. How about that, man? How about that? Oh my god.
Literally like 8 laps in front of TJ. I was just, I was pushing it in that final slick right-hander, and then I got so sideways and almost spun in the pits, but I slammed on the brakes. And after that, I just got told to just go super slow. And then Atlantis kept giving me updates on the gap. And then GSR Thrasher just said, TJ has a 3 seconds. So I was like, okay, I should have this if I don't swim.
Yeah. Gotta ask, I'll get you in a minute. I know, heartbreaking there. But, your teammate did very well. Good quality by him. And, coming back from damage up to P5. He actually has some good points. I know you two have practiced together. I know you two have talked. Zig tried to fix that, or at least mute it. But I've got to ask though, you two as teammates, it wasn't going as well. But now Torosso extend their gap with the constructors' lead again, with you two finishing 1st and 5th, a total of 26 points for you guys. Actually, no, 36. Sorry.
Yeah, he was told the top 5 and he secures his ride for next year, and he got
That's
P5.
true. That's true.
He got P5 and he was like, oh my gosh, I just secured my ride, and they just said, no way. Then he said, oh my god, you actually did.
That is true. He was at risk of losing his ride. We mentioned that before. I mentioned that to you, but you did something I did here. Adam Fab did here. Boker. 3 great drivers. The first person to do it in Tier 3. And from winning their first race and going back-to-back the next week later after your first win. I did it, Boker did it, Adam Fab did it. How do you feel about that, though?
I feel really good. I mean, last season I just wasted all my opportunities of a podium win, and now I'm just taking it cautious sometimes when I'm leading, and I just have my friends helping me, telling me gaps and everything, and just telling me when to take it easy and not to.
You were 0-2 last time in Austria. 0-2. You had a chance at a podium both races. You were a little bit mad about this restart after you realized it was going to be dynamic weather. You thought it could rain. You thought a lot of things could happen. You thought it could go bad for me. It could go so good if it rains. What's going to happen? But played the strategy perfectly, and you won from pole. How did you do that? Again, 2 in a row. And you gained on Chevy Giant 16 points between you two.
I did a lot of practice with Time Trial and Fire King, Atlantis, JSR Thrasher. Did a lot of practice with them, and I told them before the reset, pole was a 104.7, and I was like, I'm over here running 104.5s in quality, so I think I have a shot for pole. That's if it stays dry, which it did.
Now, I've got to ask you, full traction before this. Full traction on your first win. But the thing is, tell me about the switch to medium traction before this race. How much of a difference that made for you, and how you were able to control your car so much better.
Well, on full traction, it's so tight in the turns, and like medium traction, I can actually rotate and get the good exits and stuff. I switched it to medium for my first time, and then I just got like 0.5 of a second faster in time trial, and I was like, holy crap, this is actually good.
Now I've got a question before PNB steals it. Do you think you'll go with medium traction for the future? Will you try it out at other tracks?
I'm probably gonna stay the rest of the season. I used it that race. Probably gonna use it the rest of the season all the way to the final race.
Yeah, that's good. Hopefully we see some pace improvement.
2 in a row in Tier 3 as well. Want to mention that. So a lot of records broken today. And I mean, I gotta ask though. one more thing before I go to Zig, because it's so heartbreaking for Zig. Running a P5, best finish ×2, and he could have stole it. But the thing is, I've got to ask you, how much worth the wait was this? Because you waited really 2 days to do this.
I was waiting. I was just like, I'm just ready for this race to get here before I just like fall off of my lap times and stuff. Every day I just try to run the same lap times to be consistent. And I was like, when the race starts, I feel like I'm not gonna have that consistency anymore. And I know I made the gap between me and TJ from like 2.7 to 3 second gap every lap.
Axe, I don't know if you have any other questions, but hey, congratulations on the win, Davis. 2
Thank
in a
you.
row.
Yeah, I don't have much else. Congrats,
And
and
congratulations to Terry as well.
yeah,
Teammate,
good
Fire
race
King.
for Toro Rosso overall.
After being 20th at one point, he comes back to 5th.
Yeah.
I know Ditto and Zig's last lap incident did help that, but hey, you took advantage of it and you got that, so good job to Fire King. I know I've not mentioned him much this season. I know you guys were memeing on that. I've only mentioned him 4 times. Yeah, I mentioned him more than that today for sure. But yeah, now to use Zig. Include your audio.
I did.
Oh, how heartbreaking. How heartbreaking. You were gonna improve your position. Best finish by ×2. Your best finish before was 11th. And you were running up to 5th on the last lap. Ditto just took you out. How do you look at it?
I just look at it where did Ditto finish?
Like
She finished
6th or 7th?
6th after that.
Did Vanquisher wreck?
No. He finished
He got
11th, I
damaged
believe.
before. Got damaged
Okay.
before.
Well. Yeah. I raced that race so good after getting damage on going into the first turn by far.
Yeah, you're gonna be up to P5 from that after lap
And
1.
What happened between those two?
where did I fall
Ditto
back?
got passed by Zig, and Ditto just spun Zig.
Where
last
did I
lap
fall
last.
back to? 16th, I believe.
Yeah, something like 16th. Yeah,
Yeah,
you were running
16th.
5th.
And I made my way through the field, and yeah, me and Pluto was telling me the right thing to do. It was just how she raced me. It's not how you race in F1 clearly. Where Pluto did say, stay behind her, don't push her until the last lap, which I did do perfect at that. Stayed with her. Multiple times she tried to give herself DRS, which only worked one time when I found out what she was doing. And then after I found out that she was doing that, I just laid it off going into turn 3. Did not give her DRS anymore, and then we got out of turn 4 going into turn 5. I used the inside lane. I don't know why she tried to use it as well, but she went even lower and just spun me. And, good race down the drain.
Yeah, looking like your first points finish at your best track, and probably your best chance in a while to get a good points finish. Tell me about it. You were running 5th. You recovered from 20th. You crashed lap 1. You came back after all those 2 safety cars and came back to 5th, to run to 5th. That's an impressive drive. I know some people didn't pit, some people had issues, but in a tier 3 league with your pace, with you not even scoring points, that's actually an impressive drive. And considering what you were able to show here in the GSR JSE event, the GSR tier 3 race, you were able to show a lot of things. How does this kind of reflect on next time we go to Austria and just next time in general? Because how do you feel about the last lap in general as well? Because it just feels like you got taken out.
Last lap it just, I don't know why she had to be so aggressive. She would have got, what, 6th?
Yeah.
So, I don't know why. Because after that, she's gonna probably get out of points. Definitely. Or close to it. I don't know if you're gonna do the same thing
Zig
with
driver
JD.
of the day.
Yeah, that's what Pluto said. Yeah, now, I've got to ask you, Ditto's been part of aggressive racing before. I just want to mention that because incident happened with Pluto at Italy last season. Incident happened with Bones at France, one of your drivers, Axe. Now your brother's driver, Zig, got wrecked, basically. Zig, this is not the first time this has happened.
Yeah.
Reserve as well.
Ditto.
Where do you look at it? Because you just got dumped.
Where do I look at it? She needs to be kicked. She's too much of an aggressive driver. You can be aggressive. You can't be aggressive where you spin someone. Because she was being aggressive to Patriot. Ran him off multiple times.
That's
She
true.
did not have the pace as me. She always ran off the track going on to like turn 3, turn 1, last turn. I gained a lot on the straight with DRS. And yeah, she just needs to simply be kicked because she messed over a lot of people's race.
Yeah. That's true. Davis, I've actually got to ask you something.
I just got
Zig brought
word
up
from
Patriot.
Atlantis. Atlantis says Fire King has to get 2 more points to secure his ride.
Jesus Christ. Well, I've got to ask you though. The contact with Patriot lap 1, you kind of turned into him a little bit, Davis, and broke part of his front wing. Do you think that'll be looked at all, or penalized at all?
Well, it shouldn't be penalized. So when Vanquisher, he like forced it 3 wide, so of course I ran wide. But I didn't want to get into the grass, so I was trying to get back on track, and when I did, like the curve made me get sideways. So I was starting to turn left because my car started heading to the right. So I was turning left and braking, trying to not hit anyone. But then I hit him. I was just happy he didn't spin from it. Safety car did save him, but he kind of screwed himself when he sped in pits.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Didn't hurt his race as much, but maybe he could have been contending, you could consider,
Yeah.
if it weren't for the damage. Would you assume, at least? I mean, he got lucky by the safety car, but still, at the same time, I don't know how to look at it. I don't think the win could be taken away from that, at least. Now, it's not the first lap 1, turn 1 incident we saw this weekend. We saw Pluto as well, involved in 1 in Tier 2. That wasn't penalized. That was a racing incident. I don't know how I want to look at this one, to be honest, if it's reported or not, but I'm sure for sure that someone will probably find the
Report
answer
it,
clip
yeah.
and do it. Yeah. I'm gonna get Fire King in here. I want to talk to him about his best result. He stole P5 from that last lap.
I'm gonna say one more thing. I truly want to thank Pluto for helping me.
Yep.
It just didn't work out at the end. I don't want to die right when I want to say.
Alright, so now to you, Fire King. Make sure your art is included. That'll be the last interview for today. But, best finish! Top 5! How about that?
I'm pretty excited about it. My team owner told me I got 2 points to get, and then I'll be good for next year.
Yeah. Should be good.
A little bit more than that today.
Yeah. Wait, we don't know what everything could be like with all the stuff that's going on. The last lap though, you got damaged before going back to 20th, I believe. You got involved in something earlier. Before I mention the last lap, tell me about that though. Why'd you go back to 20th? Why'd you pit again? What all happened?
So I pit the first time and I was behind Raptor, and I don't know what it was, but in turn 2 he just came to a dead stop. And I didn't know it, and I didn't have time to check up, and I hit him, and it gave me completely knocked off my lane, so I had to go pit. Well, I went back to 20th on that, and I was hoping for a safety car, and that lucky one came out, and I was so happy about it. But I put on softs, and I got wing damage once again, but I just drove it out this time.
It worked out. It worked out a ton. You gone to really P20 to P5. I mean, an amazing drive from a lot of people today. Zig being one of them. Heartbroken in the last lap after Ditto took him out, basically. Just took him out in the last lap from what it looked like. Axe kind of caught that more than I did, but I've got to ask.
I wish I could have
Yeah. It's not the first time someone's been involved in an incident with her, and you've been involved in incidents before, Carrie, I'm pretty sure, and know the way it is. What do you think about the last lap incident, and what do you think about racing in general with,
Racing with her, or just this race in general?
Both, kind of, with the last lap incident,
Well,
so you took P5 from that, and just racing in general.
Last lap, here's what I just saw. I was caning on them down the front stretch because they were side by side, not giving an inch. Then going down that long straight up to turn 2, same thing, but turn 2 I overdrove. So I was like, they have to take each other out for it. Well, then I saw her dump Zig, and I was like, uh-oh, this is not good. And I kid you not, I saw Zig sitting sideways on the track. I was like, I'm about to die.
Oh my god,
I'm
hold up, I
about
want
to
to say
lose it all.
something. I was
Next thing
gonna
I know,
invert.
boom, I keep going, and then Ditto had a penalty from it, I assume, and I got the P5 that I needed.
I just got an invite for our Roblox team session after each race.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Anyways, though, you were sitting outside the top 20 before this race. There was a lot of guys who didn't run or didn't have the race they wanted. You take advantage and are probably gonna get in the top 20 at this point. In the points, at least after a struggle for the start of the season. How about that?
I'm happy about that, but I'm happier that I'm helping my teammate pull in constructors, and I'm actually doing something for once, and I'm not sitting with 3 points anymore.
Yeah. Best result though, P5. All took advantage of the last lap, and all happened. Personally, I gotta ask you. Do you think Ditto would be penalized for that? I mean, in my opinion, from what I kind of saw, half seen, I would think so. But I don't want to sound biased at the same time to Zig, of course. But still, do you think it would be penalized? And how would you think that would be dealt with?
On the last lap with them, I would say yeah, probably, because they weren't giving an inch the whole lap, like neither one of them were. But it was easily avoidable, and I'm pretty sure she was on his left, if I'm right, because of how he spun. It looks like she either hooked him or just ran him up on the curb. So I would 100% say she needed one, along with a few other drivers that I'm not going to name because it's going to sound really biased. But
If you want to tell how she did send me.
I kind of want to know.
I went to the inside, the very inside, the last part of the inside, and she, I guess, thought maybe the grass is part of the inside as well, and it clipped my rear and spun me.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm sorry, she got a little bit scared after that.
I'm just happy that she got a 5 second from it. I'm hoping she might get a little bit more. She might owe you a little something though, like I told my team
Oh
members.
my god.
She owed me, so I might owe her now that she gave me P5.
Yeah, it goes the other way around, I guess. But again, good race from you, of course, and it got you up to P5, like I said. You know, Patria was dealing with the same thing with Ditto. Pluto deal with the same thing in Italy. Bones deal with the same thing in Italy, or not Italy. Jesus. France. And then I think you've dealt with the same thing before. This isn't the first time. This isn't the only time it's happened. What do you think then? Of the whole racing with her.
See, I think she can drive, but what she does, she's a bit too aggressive at points in it. It's just bad. Like, at Hungary, I didn't get a race, but I saw what happened. She was running good. Mafia spun her. Mafia and her raced both too aggressively. And when you put two aggressive drivers together, it's not good. And Zig was aggressive, but he's conservative. He's smart with it. He knows when to push. She pushes all race, doesn't give an inch. I think she just needs to learn how to give room and space and not be so tight and aggressive everywhere. And she'd be fine.
Either way, though, congratulations on that P5, which could keep you that ride next season. Axe, any questions for Fire King?
No, but congrats on the drive. Good round for Toro Rosso, as I said to
Get in
Davis.
the stream now.
Hopefully, continues in the future. Hopefully, it goes uphill for you.
Alright,
Thank you.
about
I have something to say.
me pushing it.
Axe, oh god, Davis.
I think Zig wants to say this, you know?
Stop! Big! Stop!
Yeah, you're fine.
Yep.
Axe, though, great race, though. Something interesting we saw for sure, between that race. Battle really with penalties, battle with all what happened with Davis and TJR. A battle for P5 that was lasting the whole race. Train at the start of the safety car restart, as train was 7-8 cars from it. I will Zig in a minute. But either way, that race was pretty interesting from the way it gone, and I was kind of surprised with how that was, with the train stayed for 4 or 5 laps before that next safety car.
Yeah. It was a good race. Shame that, well, we had a controversial ending in the midfield. But congrats to Davis again, and all our podium finishers. I'm not sure, because Vanquisher did finish 11th. And if something drastic happens to Ditto here, which I'm assuming is going to happen, Vanquisher gets 2 points out of this. He had fastest lap.
Yeah, Ditto messaged me. I don't deserve points, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that, but obviously, it looks like taking the blame right there for that incident. Nah, you're fine, Davis. But, overall, Austria was better than I thought it was for this weekend. This weekend was probably really underrated compared to the other weekends that we've had. And I'm kind of very surprised with, the runs from a lot of people. When Chevy John Dada Lucas don't turn up, this is what happens, I guess. This is the big runs out of people. The big runs to people with chances at points, chances at podiums. We saw Nossman on the podium for the first time. Congrats to him. I'll be getting him an interview later for GSR. But regardless, still, I think in general with how this race gone for all tiers was very impressive, and I think tier 3 probably I would consider this the second or third best race of the season. I think Hungary still is my number 1.
Yeah, this was a great race, I think. Overall, it had a lot of action. I feel like if it was 20 laps instead of 18, maybe we could have had a battle for the one.
Maybe.
Just on track, because I know TGR did have the penalty. But, yeah, other than that, I think this race pretty much had everything.
Yeah,
it's good.
Everything we asked for. After that whole delay, after Xbox Live problems on frickin' Friday, I mean, we got what we needed. That's all I gotta say. And the good racing we had, some controversial moments in the last few laps, of course, but again, still, great racing overall. Between a lot of drivers. Most drivers, I'd say, kept it clean. We only had a span of 3 DNFs. Some late laps, but still, actually very impressive, I gotta say. Only 1 DNF at the start of the first half of the race, and really toward the end of the race before the 2 guys went out in the later stage of the race. How do you look into Britain then, Axe, with all 3 tiers? Since this is it for tier 3 and all the tiers.
Usually that's a big DRS train as well. We'll see if anyone's able to keep up with the likes of Boker, Repelicus, and Rizzo.
Yep.
I think those are going to be your top 3 there. Although this is more of a wheel track, we could see F1 driver make a good return, even though he is going to be starting at the back.
Control the player!
If we get a safety car, I think that brings F1 driver into this one. For tier 1 at least. I think this can be a weekend though. Britain's always a fun track to watch as a spectator. It's a little annoying as a driver, just in DRS train sometimes, but it provides good racing, so hopefully we see some good action this weekend.
Yeah, in tier 2 last season on Britain, we had 4 different guys on the podium. All 4 were pad players. Then in tier 1, we had on the podium Rapalucas, DW, and Tex. I'm pretty sure Rapalucas and DW are wheels players. I don't know Tex. I'm pretty sure he's a wheel.
Tex,
yeah, I was just making sure. Yeah. So tier 1 probably going to be dominated by the wheel with Rapalucas again. He could be farther up.
Polo did get pole, but
yeah, Polo. That's right. And we also saw him competitive in the race, and we also see F1 driver returning to his ride this weekend in Britain next week. So all should really calm down, I guess, with driver changes and everything else. We'll have a team leader change at McLaren after Bama left. We'll find out what goes on. I mean, from the way it looks after the incident between Rundle and Ricochet, I think you guys saw it on lap 3 of the race. Those 2 going off at turn 3. Just probably a bad incident to mention, but definitely looks to be possibly a race ban from what it looks like from what we've seen in stewarding so far. And just in general, from what we've seen, I think Austria was a very clean race for tier 1, for example, and tier 3. And tier 2 was pretty decent as well, but just some drivers need to work on some incidents. And a week after we saw the resetting of the track ban, we don't see a reset to track this week, and we don't see any issues with it. So I'm happy to see that at least.
Yeah.
Wait, what's better for sure?
What's better? So, well, compared to the last Austria, this is way better.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think last Tier 2 Austria, I think generally the Tier 2 race, it was the sprint race. I think that was generally a very classic race of ARL. I think Tier 3 in general today, the battle for 5th instead of the podium was probably way more classic. It was great. Zig, I did hear you wanted to say something. Is there anything you wanted to say?
There are two things. Fire King said about me being aggressive. Yeah, that is true. I'm aggressive, but I respect people's, and I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, I give them room. I don't make them moves as much as I used to. But Axe said something earlier. It was a while ago. You know, he was talking for how long. I forgot what it was, but yeah. Maybe I'll remember it.
We'll find out.
Yeah, but I feel like if, I get faster, I could definitely be better at Austria than I was next season.
Yeah. Find out next season for sure. The next season will be NFL 2020. But Axe, Britain. So I want to mention Tier 2 last season was kind of the battle between me and Riles. You were in the commentary booth for that one in Tier 2. You and Rapalucas. Last season, Britain, Tier 1 was a great battle, 3-car train. And just a great battle, just such a DRS train in general. Tier 2, if it's not wet again, we probably will see at least, I'm gonna assume, after safety car restarts, at least 5-10 laps after, at most. Probably a 6-7 car train at most. I think we'll see something like that. Maybe not for the race lead, but maybe for at least the podium spot or something like that.
I think we could even see it for the race lead, because this is one of Harrison's best tracks, usually. And he's been up there in the top 5 most of the time. Kogoda's usually always fast, as we've seen. Adam Fav's going to be there. Milo's probably going to be up there as well, and we could see Silent hopefully not get binned off on the first lap.
Got pole last time.
He always gets pole, okay? That's just how it is.
Still!
He's going to get a
Could've
pole,
won the
and he's
race
going to get binned through, like, cops or something, okay?
Yes, racing pointless.
That's how we roll. But, yeah, hopefully he can actually battle with those guys for a little bit more than, like, 5 laps.
The thing is with Britain from last season, I think with the likes of Riles, he showed some pace there, and he has been improving him because he could possibly, after appeal, he could possibly get a P10 or P9 today, which is impressive. It will be his first Tier 1 points finish after that, doing double duty along with Pluto. So we saw Pluto. It's not one of his best tracks, but if you're within that second, you're within the DRS train. It's so easy to stay within it. But the thing is with Britain Tier 1, I expect we see a lot of battles. I mean, I expect that's the closest we see this tracks this season. Out of tracks we see that's the closest we see drivers. We saw a memorable race, I think, in Tier 2 as well, and Tier 1 last season, I think, for sure. Not just Tier 2 because I want it, but just because it was back and forth between the midfield as well, who were within a 3-car DRS train, Silent, Hissy, and Bones, for example. We saw many drivers within that train, within that area, so if we could see the same thing in Britain, I'd be down to see it from what we see this season, I guess. And we saw Austria, how there was 2 cars battling one another, but there were always cars, like the gaps between each other was always 1.5, 1.3, 2.3, like something like that. So it wasn't always over a 3-second gap, most likely. And with the race ending results, 9th, 10th, 11th, that was all close at the end. I mean, we saw the race victory so close at the start, the first 10, 12 laps. We saw DW, who took the part in this. We saw Razone, Boker, we saw those guys. And Rapalucas was gaining on that whole pack. So, in Britain, we probably could see a great race. And I think we'll probably see the best race yet at Britain.
Depending on
one of the tiers.
Qualifying,
And
if
rain,
it's dry or rain, yeah. And the difference of pace between what I would call like your top drivers and the quote midfield. If there's any pace difference there, because with the DRS trains, we could see like people like me and Sam sticking with the top guys if we qualify well.
And you Telephant as well.
Of course, yeah, he could always. If he
won Britain in
qualifies well,
GSR.
yeah.
Not to mention.
Obviously, he's got the pace to do it.
Yeah. he just hasn't shown it fully this season. And I think with a lot of guys, there's a lot of guys who this could be the way they turn around their season for the rest of the season, or this could be their race to improve. We saw a lot of reserves with this race. Dad Lucas, Chevy Giant, and even just Dylan Boyd not being here too as well. We saw this race change a lot for drivers who aren't necessarily in the top 20 fire team.
Depending
A lot of
on
people had
safety
a good
cars.
result.
Yeah, depending on safety cars, it's going to be qualifying in lap 1, or those first laps before DRS is enabled. Those are going to be very important laps. That's depending on if we don't have safety cars, that is. But those laps without DRS are going to make or break some people's races, I think.
Agreed. Last season's race was so memorable for tier 1 mainly. Rapaloo's kind of taking a home win almost, really. So, Boker,
Yeah, Dom's memorable
Rizone,
for me, but in the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly. Sam Seakill also relate as well, too. But,
Yeah.
yeah, Polo, same as with him, but yeah, there's a lot of things to be able to be reflecting on in Britain, and hopefully we can see you join back the commentary booth again later this season at some point, because it was great to see you join us for Tier 3 today.
Yeah, I
And
hope
we
to
can
be
probably
back.
see you later, yeah, for Tier 3 sometime.
Tier 2 or 3, whatever happens. I'll be home. Not going anywhere. So,
Yeah, exactly.
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to find out what all goes on. We'll have to see if you join us back at any point in the season. I'd like to see you join back. I will try to get Milo for Britain, though, for Tier 3, because I want to try to get a British driver for Tier 3 for the Britain race, of course. But, yeah, that's really all I have to store with you guys. That's all I really have to say. A great race, though. A great race. Hopefully we see that in Britain. And make sure you guys tune in next week, though, because we have the British Grand Prix next week for Tier 3, Tier 2, Tier 1 at its normal times, though. Unless anything happens, unless anything changes. Post-race penalties, post-race appeals, we'll have to find out what happens. You guys tune in the Discord if you find out what goes on. Anyways, that's really about it, and we should be able to see you guys next week in Britain. Make sure you tune in then. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you all enjoy. Have a good night.